The primary voltage shock is extremely hazardous because it carries a much greater voltage than a secondary or welding voltage shock. You can receive a shock from the primary input voltage if you touch a lead or other electrically hot component inside the welder while you have your body or hand on the welder case or other grounded metal, and the power to the welder is on.
Remember that turning the welder power switch off does not turn the power off inside the welder. To turn the power inside the welder off, the input power cord must be unplugged or the power disconnect switch turned off. Your welder should be installed by a qualified electrician so it will be correctly wired for the primary voltage, which supplies it power, and so the case will be connected to an earth ground. When electrical supply lines are connected to a welder, check the welder capacity nameplate and connection instructions to be sure the input is the correct phase, single phase or three-phase, and voltage. Many welders may be set up for single-phase or three-phase and for multiple input voltages. Be certain the welder is set up for the electrical supply to which it will be connected. If the workshop in which your welder is connected to power has three-phase power and the welder is single-phase, it is very important for the power to be connected only by a qualified electrician. Connect the ground lead to the ground terminal first, and then connect two of the hot leads to the input connections at the welder and insulate the unused three-phase hot lead. If the input power connections are not made properly, the result may be that the case of the welder becomes electrically hot, creating a very hazardous condition. This may occur, for example, if someone improperly connects a hot lead in the input cable to the ground terminal on a receptacle or plug instead of the grounding lead. The case must be grounded so that if a problem develops inside the welder, a fuse will blow, disconnecting the power and letting you know that repair is required. The input power grounding lead has green insulation or may have no insulation at all. Leads that have insulation which is not green are hot leads and should never be used as or connected to the ground terminal. The green grounding lead used to connect the welder to earth ground is not the same as the work cable, sometimes called the welding ground cable, which is part of the arc welding circuit and only carries welding current. The work cable does not ground the welder case. You should never remove fixed panels from your welder. In fact, always have a qualified technician repair your welder if it isn't working properly.